Why do men hate single mothers, and why do single mothers threaten the structure that holds capitalism together?
Why is nobody into single moms?
The second somebody finds out I had a kid, they just ghost me.
Why are some men increasingly hesitant to date single mothers? Is it about responsibility, finances, emotional complications, or simply wanting a relationship with fewer existing obligations? And if more men are choosing to stay away, what does that mean for modern dating? Stay with us until the end, because the reasons behind this shift are more complicated than they seem.
Don't date a single mom. Don't date a single mom if you don't have your life together. Don't date a single mom if you're going to be bothered when sometimes we can't find a babysitter. Don't date a single mom if you can't bring something to the table. If you can't bring peace and love and happiness and calmness to our chaos. Don't date a single mom if you have mommy issues. Single moms need somebody who they can feel they have someone that they can go to that's a comfort. Sometimes we need to be taken care of. We're so used to taking care of everybody else, taking care of our kids, taking care of the bills, the house, the everything on your own, that sometimes we need somebody that we can just fall into your arms and just take a breath. So if you can't do that.
The usual framing treats men's hesitation as insecurity or lack of compassion. But dating decisions are often about compatibility. A man considering a relationship with a single mother isn't only considering the woman. He may also be considering children, schedules, an existing co-parent, financial responsibilities, and the possibility that family dynamics will always be more complicated.
Okay, let's be very honest here. Now, I do understand what I'm about to say might hurt some individuals' feelings or burst a few bubbles, but unfortunately, that can't be helped. Now, most men, whether American or otherwise, when they go into dating or the prospect of being in a relationship with someone, would usually prefer to be with someone who's in the same social position, shall we say, that they are. If they are single with no children, they usually prefer to date someone else who is also single with no children. You don't have to like that, but unfortunately for some of you, that is the reality. Now, there are a lot of men out there that don't mind dating a single mother. However, trying to shame guys by saying they're too broke to date a single mother really isn't the best strategy, and it's not going to get them to date you.
That doesn't mean single mothers are undesirable or that every man avoids them. Plenty of men happily build relationships with single mothers. But men are also allowed to decide that a particular family structure isn't right for them. Choosing a relationship without children already involved can simply be a personal preference.
Can we talk about how hard it is to date as a single mom? Like, when do y'all make time to date? How? Like, it feels impossible. Like, I can meet you Tuesday for 30 minutes. Does that work or no? And it's just like, it's not talked about enough. Like, as a single mom, it is so hard. Like, I don't have the time. And it feels unfair. And this is something that I've actually had to learn to deal with. It does feel unfair as a single mom when you're able to watch the other parent really do what they want. Date as they want, go out as they want, not have any type of, like, the responsibility of the children all the time. And it becomes it's hard not to be resentful. But what I always remind myself is I will never regret raising my children. And I will never regret being the one that gets to be there for all of the moments. But that doesn't mean that it's not hard, because sometimes it really sucks because, like, mama wants a life too, and sometimes that just doesn't happen.
And then there's time. Dating someone with children can involve a completely different schedule. Spontaneous trips become harder. Holidays may involve multiple families. Priorities naturally revolve around the children. For a man who wants to build a relationship without those complications, that difference can matter.
So today I came to a super harsh realization that I am not going to be able to date as a single mom. I'm not going to be able to date anybody with the state of how my life is right now. And that sucks big time. Like, it's not that I don't have the time to date anybody. I don't have the time between my kids and my business and life. I don't have the time, but I don't have anything left to give to anybody. And that's just not fair to them. It's not fair for somebody who's looking for a partner to be with somebody who only can take. Because that's all I could do right now. That's all I could do is take from somebody, because that's what I need. Like, I need a support system, and I need somebody to pick the pieces up for me. And I don't think it's fair to ask for that if I can't do the same thing. But the really harsh realization set in for me when I realized that I am going to be raising my kids alone. I am going to be living in my house alone. I'm going to be continuing my business alone, and I'm going to be living out probably the rest of my 30s alone. And that sucks. That sucks. Because I didn't think I was going to do that at all. I definitely don't want to do those things with the person that I originally thought I was going to do them with, but I don't really want to do them by myself. But I don't want to do them with a bunch of other people, a bunch of different people, and I don't want to do them with the wrong person. So, yeah. Here's to being a single mom and doing everything on your own because you realize that it's better for your kids. And I guess in the long run, it's better for you if you do it all by yourself.
Finances can also influence the decision. Raising children is expensive, and relationships can eventually involve shared financial responsibilities. A man who has spent years building his savings, career, or assets may hesitate before taking on responsibilities that weren't part of his original plan.
So my husband told me that he doesn't love his stepson and that most of the time he doesn't even like him. And what do you know? Now we're getting divorced.
Okay, when I first saw this video, I was like, wow, valid divorce. If you don't love or even like a parent's child, yeah, you probably shouldn't be together. So she has me in the first half, right? She starts getting into how he's saying that he's always resented her son because she always puts her son before him, even though they've been married for 10 years and he's been involved since the child was 1. But then she says this.
But my son is not my soon-to-be ex-husband's child. Now, if he were his child, that would be a different story.
I'm sorry, what? Because now I have to do a 180, because why would the dynamics be different if he was the biological father? First of all, I feel like that's insulting to adoptive parents. But second, yeah, I'm starting to see where his resentment is coming from, because you're essentially telling him that you would respect him more if he was your ex. Like, as a stepmom, I could not imagine going up to my husband and saying, hey, I'm starting to feel a little neglected, like I'm always second fiddle to your son. And him saying, well, I would invest more in you if you were his real mom. Like, that would be such a slap in the face, but it actually gets worse when she tries to explain herself.
Let's clarify something, because I did say in one of my previous videos that if my soon-to-be ex-husband was the father of my child, it would be different. And two parents, who are the parents of the children of the family, work together in unity as a family unit. You have mother and father running the household and all of the children underneath. Now, I believe it sets an example of authority, respect, love, and care when a mother and a father work together in unity. They are above head of household and the children are everywhere below. But that is not the case. My baby daddy and I are not together. He brought another woman into my son's life, and I chose to bring another man into my son's life. My ex brought another woman into the relationship, and so now the son becomes the priority over that other person.
And there it is. It sounds like she just wanted to be with her ex, is mad that he chose another woman over her, and has spent the last 10 years punishing her soon-to-be ex-husband for it. I'm wondering if she ever liked her husband, or if he was always just a means to an end, like one of those race to the altar type things. And like I said, I was on her side at first, but then she kept making video after video about how she will never regret putting her son first, because her husband is a grown-ass man and his happiness isn't her responsibility. And some of that is true, but husbands aren't asking you to mother them, they're just asking you to care. Of course your child needs you, but the whole idea of marriage is that once your child is grown and independent and doesn't need you anymore, that you and your husband will still be there for each other to take care of each other, and it feels like throughout this whole marriage, preparing for that was never a priority for you. Unless he was your ex, I guess. There are plenty of us who work full-time, have hobbies, are hands-on mothers, and still care about our husbands. But because you can't or don't want to do this, I think this divorce is a brilliant idea for both of you. But let's be honest, this divorce is not all his fault. Anyway, I wish you all of the happiness and success for both of you moving forward.
The emotional side matters too. A single mother may still communicate with the child's father because co-parenting requires it. Even when everyone behaves respectfully, another person remains connected to the family structure. Some men are comfortable with that. Others simply aren't.
Do
Yeah,
men
they
even
do.
date single moms anymore, or should I just give up? I feel like the second somebody finds out I had a kid, they just ghost me.
I've dated a single mom before. That like hitting 30 mark for women with a single kid, it's almost like every dude who didn't have, not that you didn't have options, but those are like really easy to kind of snag one of those. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think long term though, for young guys, because a lot of people get it twisted with the single mom stuff. Like you're 45, just get ready to have some stepkids. You know what I mean? Like for the most part, you know, like the rules are out the window. But as a young dude, I think the more you make it acceptable, the more it's just happened. Remember the why the chicken crossed the road, all their friends were doing it. It's a stupid metaphor, but it's true.
And that's where the real shift begins. Men have become more comfortable admitting that they have preferences and boundaries too. They don't have to enter every relationship opportunity presented to them. If a situation comes with responsibilities they aren't prepared to accept, walking away can be the more honest decision.
I keep seeing this discourse on TikTok about single moms and dating single moms and who doesn't want to date single moms and, oh, you're not worthy and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. As a former single mom of 2 kids with 2 baby daddies, I have the room to say what I'm about to say. Every time you have another kid by another man or multiple kids by multiple men, your dating pool of men that will take you serious and want to date you to marry you and see you as a wifey prospect and see you as somebody they want to build their life with and take serious gets smaller, 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 smaller. And that's just bottom line, period, end of story, end of discussion, no argument. And that's a hard truth to swallow as a woman, that, hey, I made this decision thinking I trusted this person and wanted to have a family with this person and it didn't work out. And now because of that, there's like a whole group of men that don't even like see me as a dating. Yes. And that's just it. And as a former single mom, I had to come to terms with that. And that hurt. It hurt me that, hey, like it's not my fault I'm a single mom. It doesn't matter. People need to understand that single moms also come with a lot of fucking baggage. It's not even just about, hey, you had a kid with another man, you already started a family, or you're used goods. It has nothing, like, there's so much more to why people don't want to date single moms. The fucking baggage, the mental baggage, the emotional, physical, financial, like, there's so much fucking baggage. A lot of single moms come from abusive, fucked up, mentally, emotionally draining, traumatic relationships and aren't healed. And that in itself is baggage. Being abused is baggage. Trauma is baggage. All that stuff, trust issues, being cheated on, it's baggage. It's baggage. And a lot of us don't take the time to heal. A lot of us leave our abusers, our liars, our cheaters, our narcissists, and then we jump right back into the dating game. No therapy, no healing, no taking the time for ourselves to find ourselves, to get over what the fuck we went through. And then we take all that baggage and try to find a man to save us. And that's just not it. You shouldn't be looking at dating as a single mom as like a savior, or, hey, this person's going to bail me out or help me with these kids and we're going to be like, you should be dating for love. You should be dating to meet your partner. Now, as a single mom, obviously that's just something that you would understand, like, hey, if a man comes in my life, he's obviously going to step into a certain role, but you shouldn't be dating a man looking for a fucking bailout, a fucking savior. And that's how men see it. Like, especially when you have a lot of baggage and you're not healed, they always think, like, what are you dating for? Like, men can see when you're not healed. Men can see when you're vulnerable and traumatized. They see that. They know that. And they feed off of it. And they're like, well, I'm not going to take her serious because she's obviously still mentally fucked up from the last shit. And so she's definitely not looking for actually love. She's looking for somebody to fill the void, somebody to band-aid the hurt and fix the pain. She's not ready to actually open up and start a new connection with somebody. And that's what y'all don't understand. Men can see when a single mom is vulnerable. And then that's another thing. You guys open yourselves up to meet more abusers, predators, people who see you as a vulnerable single mom who needs help and they pop in as saviors. These are the people who abuse your kids, abuse you. Like, it's just a whole lot of baggage, and it's too much for some people. Like, hey, I just want to date. I don't want to think so deeply into things. I don't want to have to worry about this and worry about that and make a relationship with this kid and that kid and this dad and that dad. Like, that's a lot for people. Why can't you guys understand that? When I left my last and I was single, I wasn't looking for a man. I didn't think I needed a man. I think I needed fucking therapy and some fucking medication. But I ended up, meeting my man, and we've been together for almost 2 years. Beautiful relationship. I have an amazing man, but I was not prepared for it, to be honest. I was not prepared because I didn't think, I wasn't looking for a daddy for my kids. I was sustaining myself, paying my own bills, taking care of my own kids by myself. I didn't need a man. But some of y'all go out there and are like, oh, why does a man want to date us? I mean, before you say that, make sure that you have done everything to heal from your last situation. You can sustain yourself. Like, men are looking at that shit. But this is only if you're worried about dating. You know, some women are not worried about dating. Some women leave their baby daddies and become single moms and ain't worried about no man. Ain't worried about keeping no man. Ain't worried about love or commitment or none of that. And that's good for you. This is specifically a message for women who are very worried about dating another man or dating in general after having kids and leaving their last relationship with their children's father. When I got with my man, I used to tell him all the time, are you sure? Are you sure you want to date a single mom? I got 2 baby daddies, 1 weird one, 1 psychotic one. I'm good. Like, you know, I don't need your money. I pay my own bills, you know, whatever the case may be. I take care of my kids, all that. I got my own career. I got my own education. But are you sure? And for the first 6 months, I would always ask him, are you sure? Are you sure? We're 2 years in now. I'm pretty sure he's sure at this point. But you know what I'm saying? Like, even I, as a single mom, always have to think, like, are you sure this is what you want to do? Because even I, not being delusional, but being self-aware, understand that this is a lot. This is a lot for somebody. Like, this is a lot for me, and it's my situation, and I'm going through it. So imagine. Because you have to think about it, too. If all this stuff as a single mom disturbs your peace and the baby daddy drama, and all, if it disturbs your peace, why do you think somebody else would want to join you on their peace being disturbed? That's another perspective to look at it, too. Because if it's, like, destroying and tearing up your life and has you constantly stressed out, if somebody's dating you, they're also going through all that drama with you. So
the explanation is simple. Attraction isn't the only factor in dating. Someone can be attractive, kind, successful, and interesting while still not being the right fit for another person's life.
Why is nobody into single moms?
Because you fucking ran through, and no fucking fella wants to be playing another man's safe game. Be arsed with that. Stay woke in these streets. Big brr.
This doesn't mean single mothers are doomed to remain single. Many have successful relationships and families. The dating pool simply becomes more specific because compatibility involves more than chemistry. The right person has to be comfortable with the responsibilities involved.
Hearing some men on this app talk about they would never date a single mom with children, as if they are some magical golden prize. Pointing out that single moms just come with baggage. Meanwhile, Jerry, you're in 3 situationships. Like, let's talk about your little carry-on baggage there, shall we? And I'm going to speak from experience here. Yes, there are some women out there who are toxic, who have not done their healing. I'm not going to deny that. But that's a human issue, not a single mom issue. And last I checked, healing is individual. And by you lumping all single moms into a category just shows your lack of emotional maturity. So trust me when I say you don't have to worry about this single mom looking twice at you. Because looking at your profile, I'm almost certain that I would run circles around you any day of the week. Have a great day.
Modern dating has also changed how people evaluate relationships. Marriage, cohabitation, casual dating, and singlehood are all possibilities. With more choices available, people can become more selective.
Women. Honey, men aren't afraid, not in the least. See, what you're doing with that post is making projections, making assumptions. That's a large part of the problem. It's not fear causing men not to want to date single mothers. It's reality. The reality of the risks involved. Because you see, while 55% of all marriages end in divorce, with second marriages, it's closer to 70%. And I ask, would you risk everything you own on something you know has less than a third chance of succeeding? Yeah, probably not. And then there's the other part of the equation that men see. We see single mothers for who they are. Women who've already shown that their love, their commitment, their word is meaningless and hollow, fleeting at best. Not to mention, the majority of them are raging with bitterness and toxicity and refuse to accept that if the relationship they were in failed, they're every bit as responsible for it as the father was. It's toxicity through and through, And the proof being this very post where you've run around assuming that men are afraid, when in reality it's a calm, cool, rational, well thought out decision.
Men who don't want children may be particularly cautious. If they've deliberately chosen a child-free lifestyle, dating someone who already has children creates an obvious conflict. Social pressure can't make those preferences compatible.
Why do men hate single mothers, and why do single mothers threaten the structure that holds capitalism together? So obviously there are surface reasons that men have given as to why they don't like single mothers. But I think at the root of all these criticisms is the idea that a woman should need a man, and if she doesn't, then she is a threat to the nuclear family structure, and therefore she's a threat to capitalism as a whole. And the men who need their dishes washed, clothes cleaned, food cooked, and asses wiped do not want that shit being perpetuated. So they shame single mothers instead of praising them for being the parent who stayed. But how do single mothers threaten capitalism? Well, just like women are afraid of men, men are afraid of men as well. And if rich men are going to ensure that poor men, aka the overwhelming majority of men, aren't going to them, then they need to pacify poor men in order to make them feel just as privileged as they actually are. Black people, both in the past and today, have taken the main brunt of placating poor white men's need for superiority. And now that everyone's fallen on some pretty rough times financially, the US government is going to go to even more extreme methods in order to soothe these men and keep them complacent so that they don't strike. Single mothers, especially the ones that have formed community with each other, are proof that society does not have to be ran the way rich, cis-het white men want it run, and that terrifies them. Single mothers, I know it is rough out here, but I am rooting for you.
There's also a difference between supporting someone and taking responsibility for a situation you never chose. A man can respect single mothers while deciding that he doesn't want to become a stepfather. Those positions aren't contradictory.
I look forward to true love. I know it seems like it's impossible for us these days, like women. You know, I do see a lot of little love stories on here, but I feel like in dating pool, in the real life, it seems like it's almost impossible. But like, I'm hopeful because I know like what I give out, and I know that somebody is going to be able to reciprocate that. So like, I'm just like, whatever, when the time comes, it comes.
Public service announcement. When you're trying to date a single mom and she tells you, hey, I can't because I don't have a sitter, or our time scheduling conflicts, as a man, you should never come off like, oh, that doesn't work. If you're approaching the single mom, know that a schedule is always going to be something that you got to come to the table to. You got to understand. Now, also, know the type of woman that you're talking to, if you can actually use that excuse and it's a real excuse. Like,
the same principle applies in reverse. Women have every right to reject men based on their circumstances, personality, finances, lifestyle, or family situation. Dating isn't a system where everyone is entitled to someone's attention. Both sides are allowed to have standards.
Now, am I the only one that's a single mother that refuses to seriously date anybody without children? Let me explain. I feel like for me and my reasoning is because the next person I want to take serious, I feel like I want them to really understand what it is to have a child and the reasons why I don't allow X, Y, and Z. Obviously, I'm not trying to do anything serious as of right now, but I'm thinking ahead and I'm just like, why would I be with somebody who doesn't have kids? And I would have to explain, like, this is why I'm, acting this way. This is why I need things to be a certain way. Like, am I wrong for that? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll be open to it, but I feel like relationship would be much easier for, maybe for a blended family or whatever the case is. But I don't know. Am I the only one?
So, are men really dodging single mothers? For some, yes. But the bigger story is about increasing selectivity. Men who once felt pressure to pursue every opportunity may now be asking a simpler question. Does this relationship actually fit the life I want? If the answer is no, they may simply walk away.
was good enough to sleep with, I was good enough to hang out with, but I wasn't good enough to be in a relationship with is such a common feeling amongst people who end up in situationships. Situationships require a discrepancy in like goals for the dynamic. So if both people were wanting to commit to each other, it would be a bona fide relationship. If both people were content to let it be casual, it would be like friends with benefits. But when one person wants a relationship with this person and the other person's content to let it be casual, this discrepancy causes a situationship to become the dynamic. And the people up here, after things fizzle out, end up feeling like I was good enough to do all of these things with, but not to commit to, like, what the hell? And I would like to offer a reframe because I think that we underestimate the extent to which particularly straight men in our society feel pressure to have themselves established in a certain kind of way before committing to somebody. Like, if they see you as really great and you guys have a really great connection and you really like each other, but they're still partying or they're still figuring out their career or they're still financially unstable, or they just generally feel like they can't offer you what you would deserve or what they think you would want in a relationship, but you're allowing them to have some semblance of a relationship with you without them having to level up and actually commit. This allows them to maintain the status quo that is them fucking around, not really working on leveling up in terms of career or financial stability or quality of the people they spend their time with. Like, because some people just aren't there yet, and that's okay. People don't have to be on our timeline. And that doesn't mean that they don't like you enough. It can just be that they aren't ready to like do all of the things that they feel like they need to do for a relationship, period. Or perhaps they aren't ready to do all of the things that they need to do for a relationship with a person that they really like, that they really see as great, especially if they already get to hang out with this person anyway, and they get to continue their weird, like less than stellar like activities. So I think rather than thinking like I'm good enough for this and this, but I'm not good enough for commitment, a reframe that I think is actually very true very often is we are good enough, but they aren't ready to be good enough for us. They aren't ready to do the things that are required in their mind to like level up and be in a committed relationship.
That doesn't make single mothers unworthy of love. It means relationships work best when both people genuinely want the same kind of life. A man who wants a child-free relationship shouldn't be pressured into becoming a stepfather, just as a single mother shouldn't have to hide her family situation.
Mom out on a date, you better be paying for her babysitter. I know y'all are not out here paying for your own babysitters, ladies. Fuck that. We're not doing that, okay? You tell them how much you pay your babysitter, and then they should give you double. They should give you double that amount. I ain't paying for my own babysitter. What? No. We're not doing that.
The real question is whether modern dating is becoming more selective as people become comfortable choosing relationships based on their actual long-term preferences. Because when men realize they can say, "This isn't for me," dating becomes less about getting attention and more about finding genuine compatibility.
Men stopped playing by the rules, and now everyone's freaking out. Let's break down why silence has become the loudest